like fire within the heart. They beat me. Pashur had me thrown in the stocks, right out in the open, for everyone to see. The humiliation was a deeper cut than the lash. I had spoken God's words, a message of doom for the city and its leaders, and this was my reward. Mockery from those I loved, and violence from those in power. After they let me go, I spoke again. The Lord put new words on my tongue, words of judgment specifically for Pashur himself. Mager-Missabib, I called him, terror on every side. A prophet's curse. I told him he and his people would be carried away by the Babylonians, just as I had prophesied for all of Judah. I knew with a certainty that could only come from God that these words, too, would come to pass. But still, the fear and pain ate at me. "You deceived me, Lord," I cried out in the silence of my heart. "You were stronger, and you won. Now I'm a laughingstock." I felt like a fool for following his call. I decided right then and there I would be quiet. No more prophecies, no more speaking in his name. I was done with this life of ridicule and sorrow. That's when it hit me. A fire, not of my own making, began to burn deep inside me. It wasn't a roaring blaze, but a persistent, intense heat in my very bones. I tried to suppress it, to shut it down, but I couldn't. It was God's word, and it had to get out. It was a force I couldn't control. In that moment of surrender, I received a new kind of grace. Not the grace of a comfortable life, but the grace of a renewed trust in God's power. I was reminded that He was with me, a mighty terrible one. My enemies would stumble and fall, not because of my strength, but because of His. My suffering was not meaningless. It was part of His plan. A song of praise sprang from my lips, a spontaneous act of faith in the midst of my pain. Then, just as quickly as it came, the praise was gone, replaced by a deep, dark despair. I cursed the day I was born, wished I had never existed. The weight of it all was too much. But even in that moment, in the raw, unfiltered reality of my anguish, there was a glimmer of something. A faint echo of that fire, a memory of a trust that had been, and would be again. Through the highs and lows, the faith wasn't a steady light, but a constant, wavering flicker, anchored by the truth that God's word, and His purpose, could not be contained or defeated.